What is up, y'all? This is Alex from Alex PC Tech again, back at you with another video. And on today's video, we're going to be discussing how to practically choose a Ryzen 5000 CPU in 2021. This might be a bit daunting for a beginner as there might be endless and several configurations when building a PC, but in this video, we're gonna try our best to categorize and give you use case scenarios in order for you to choose your Ryzen 5000 CPU practically for your next PC build. First things first, you have to figure out what your build is going to be for. With this said, here are several common use case scenarios when building a PC. First is, will it be for online classes with some gaming on the side? Two is, are you building a PC for streaming? In case you are streaming, there are also a couple scenarios to consider in order for you to choose which CPU is best for you. The first one is if you're gonna be streaming your console games. For example, you have a Nintendo Switch or you have a PlayStation 5 and you are building a dedicated streaming machine. And another scenario would be if you're gonna be streaming PC games on the same PC that you're gonna be building with. So in that case, you have one machine with two purposes, and that is to game and also to stream. Number three is if you are building a workstation, whether it will be for transcoding, encoding, rendering, and primarily for productivity use. Another reason is if you are building a dedicated home theater PC, or lastly, number five is if you are building a PC for gaming, whether if it's for a budget PC or a high-end AAA gaming machine. With that all said and done, those are most of the common things that I can think of. If you have another purpose for your PC, then comment down below. It will be probably a configuration of the ones that we mentioned above, but if you have another one that is actually unique, hit us down below. Thinking about all of the scenarios where a PC will be used, or probably a combination of the scenarios, here are some recommendations. One is for the Ryzen 5600X. Primarily if you are gaming, if you are on a budget, and if you are coming from the first gen or second gen Ryzen CPUs, upgrading to the 5600X for gaming is highly recommended. If you are really on a budget and you are building a budget PC, then I would suggest that you look into the upcoming Ryzen 5000G APUs that are upcoming to be released this August 5, 2021. So particularly, it will be the 5600G, as that is a 6-core 12-thread processor that can suffice most esports titles, and you can upgrade your GPU down the line. If you are gaming and also doing productivity on your PC, then the 5800X is a really good option. Now, this is an 8-core 16-thread processor, but if you are solely gaming, then do not choose this CPU for gaming. Go for the 5600X instead, because this one is for those productivity/gaming users. I actually considered this when I was trying to upgrade my CPU, but then I was also sure that I will be skipping the next generation of Ryzen CPUs, so I went with the next product in their tier list instead, which is the 5900X. If you are doing productivity and you are also gaming and you are also streaming at H.264 hardware, then this is a really good option. I was also considering this one, as previously I had an 8-core CPU as well that I use for producing all of my YouTube contents. But since I was sure that I will be skipping the next generation Ryzen CPU, then I went with the next product tier in their product stack instead, which is the 5900X. The 12-core really helped my process or my workflow be much faster, as scrubbing through the Premiere Pro timeline was more seamless and more smooth rather than using an 8-core. Also, rendering and exporting was also really fast, as a 4K 10-minute video was only at around 6 to 7. Of course, that will depend on the effects that are in the video, but for me, these standard YouTube videos usually take around 12 to 15-minute rendering on my old 2700 Ryzen CPU. But now it's only down to 7 or 8 minutes, maximum 10 minutes. So that's really a well worth upgrade for me, and it is because I was also sure that I will be skipping the next generation of Ryzen CPUs. Now, for the 5950X, if you're primarily doing rendering or productivity tasks in your PC build, then that workstation will really benefit for the extra cores that the 5950X has. This is also the safest bet if you are gonna be gaming on a single PC and streaming and using hardware encoding H.264 for the current gen consoles. Now, as an alternative for gamers, there is also a 3700X that is available on the market. If you can get that cheaper than the 5600X, then you might consider that if you are doing most or some productivity tasks on your PC. If you are really on a tight budget and the 5600G that is upcoming isn't a fit for you, then the 3600X is also a good option for those who already have a GPU and want to upgrade to a Ryzen platform but with less budget. Like if you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And if this video was helpful to you and it helped you build your PC, then comment down below, let us know, and see you on the next video.